It
So
was different.
what so what is that first meeting like? Like when you're dancing at First Avenue, like, is it just like, can you hang with Prince? Was it like, a formal audition? Were you like, I'm still auditioning for a part? Like, what was that like?
Well, the audition actually started with lunch. They, picked me up from my hotel, and we went for lunch and went for a drive through the country, which was really fascinating to me because I'm a city girl. And we went to his favorite restaurant where he had spaghetti, and he was just checking me out. I could see he was, looking at me through his peripheral and watching. I was doing all the talking. He was very shy, and I was doing all the talking because I was nervous. And when I'm nervous, I, get chatty. But it was simple. It was easy. And then they dropped me off at, when I say they, his bodyguard chick was a driver. They dropped me off at my hotel. And then chick comes back and says, we're going to pick you up later and take you out. So I get ready for, an evening of dining and dancing at First Avenue.
What were your first impressions of Prince? I mean, like you had the CD in your car, you were thinking one day you want your own CD, but when you first meet Prince, like what goes through your mind?
He smelled great. He smelled like purple, if that makes any sense. He was as cute as a button, really cute, beautiful eyes, and extremely shy, super shy. I could just tell it was almost like he was terrified of just meeting me. Not that, I had a reason to give him to be scared, but I think he was just there was so much commotion going on behind the scenes that he really needed to find his leading lady. I think he was just nervous, you know, but again, he was very shy.
Could you tell, like, okay, like I'm going home now, I got the part, this went well, like what was like they say sometimes, like as an actress you can tell when
Mhm.
it went well, like, at what point could you tell, like, maybe this will really happen for me?
That happened at the end of the evening when they dropped me off. And then I heard a knock at the door, and it was Chick. And he gave me this beautiful note from Prince. And I hope to see you soon. I still have the note. And he drew a lot of beautiful little images. And then Chick said, he really likes you a lot. The kid likes you a lot. Just don't mess it up. He likes you a lot. And I said, I like him a lot too. And I had a good feeling then. I remember flying back home, and as soon as I got back home, my agent said, you've been cast. And I remember saying, I know. Because did he tell you? I said, no. But, just leaving, they made me feel welcomed. And the idea of, I hope to see you soon. I thought, well, does that mean for the movie, or either fly me back out just to have more spaghetti? Either way, it would have been great.
Wow. So you get the movie, this could be the one that's going to change your life. You knew it was special. Like, what was the actual process of making this movie like? Like, it sounds like you knew the music was, just revolutionary, no pun intended. But, like, what was the actual process of working on this movie?
It was, we worked 7 days a week. We had rehearsals. It was tough. The conditions were, for me, I'm a beach girl. I'm from Santa Monica, California. I surf. I don't ski. So we get there, and it's really pretty. It hadn't snowed yet, but once we started to work, I tried my best to keep up with Prince with his pace. He was working 7 days a week. He would film and then go back and record. It was a lot of work. It was tough. I suffered from insomnia, so that made it tough for me. He put together a tape so that I could sleep where he played Father's song and piano and put in a cassette. He goes, here, this is to help you go to sleep. So we worked our asses off, all of us. I had no idea the intensity that was awaiting me.
Was there one like moment, like outrageous or fun, or just one moment that stands out of like a funny story or just something that's a memory?
Well, the lake scene to me is, just the one. I remember reading about it in the script, and I thought, oh, piece of cake. I'm from LA. I surf. I could jump in, and man, that was tough. That was just really crazy. Hypothermia. Thought I was going to die. Prince starts to cry. The nurse says, we got to call the ambulance. And it was just, it was wild, but I knew I had to do it. I did it 3 times, maybe a 4th time, but I did it 3 times for sure. And it snowed that day, right after we finished wrapping. And I remember jumping in and breaking a thin sheet of ice with my bare feet. And we had a stuntman, Al Jones, in the water, ready to catch my fall and lift me. And I kicked him because I just panicked because that was cold.
Wow. What were your first impressions of like Wendy and Lisa, Morris Day?
I thought they were just these wild characters. They didn't seem like real people because the real people that I was accustomed to were just regular folks. And these people were not regular. They were superstars and they were super talented and they were super beautiful and funny. And they all knew their place and they all had their individual personalities. And I was in awe. I felt a lot of times, kind of out of place because I was a new kid on the block, but that's pretty much my life story. I'm always a new kid on the block.
What about, there was so much written about, like the kid and Morris, the feud. I mean, we saw it in the movie, but there was so much written about like Prince and Morris Day, like in real life, they were feuding. And like, I even read somewhere like Morris wouldn't show up to set certain days if there was like that filming schedule, they didn't want to run into each other. Like, is that true? Was that all hyped?
Well, there were difficulties in families, as we know, when you work together for so many years, there's conflict. And there was conflict on the set. I wasn't aware of it because my head was just so filled with what I had to do, as an actor, as a leading lady, and my place on set. So I didn't really notice at first until I started to focus on what was going on behind me. And it was crazy. It was wild. It really was intense. So I kept my nose clean, stayed out of people's business. I was kind to everyone and just did my damn job.
And it was just intense, like what, like Prince and Morris and just all of that.
Of everything, everybody, and women on set, girlfriends. It was little Susan Moonsey from Apollonia 6 who was the one that took me by the hand and said, "This is the story. These are the players. These are the women. That one and that one. Be careful with that one." So she pretty much gave me, the parameter and coached me. So once again, I just kept, to myself, and I was friendly with everyone, but I kept to myself because it was that the director was directing a couple of the women to give me a tough time.